some takeaways. And we threw ours out there. We're gonna bring in our friend Garry Cobb now from Fox 29 in Philadelphia.
How you doing?
And get his take on it.
All right.
Yeah, practice?
Yeah, I'm here at practice. I just walked in here. You see the field in back of me and everything. I don't see the guys. Well, there are a few of them out there. They're over there in the distance. But yeah, I just walked in here. They're going to be battling with the Browns. You know, it's so different than it used to be, because right now they look at these practices as if it's going to be the closest thing they're going to do. A lot of their starters, this is the closest they're going to come to playing a game, and they're going to have live plays out here, you know, with the Browns. And
so Garry, are you a fan of these controlled practices? Like today, you're going to watch the Browns and the Eagles. Are you a fan of these controlled practices?
Well, you know, of course, I like the way it was before, but, you know, if they're winning, I can't argue with it. I mean, you know, I talked before about Mike Quick for years. You know, when I was here and playing with Mike Quick, every year Mike Quick would hold out. You're going to hold out every year. And the reason he'd hold out is he would be working out, having his legs and his body at its top shape, and he would be fresh. And he would come into camp the last week. And, you know, he started off the season with 2 10-catch games, you know. So, really, when you think about it, hey, if that's what works, and, you know, he showed that if you are fresh, you're going to play your best football. So, I think they try to get that. They want these guys to be fresh for the games, and that means that they don't really care so much about them mixing it up, you know, during the preseason, as long as they're fresh when the season gets here. And if that means more guys stay healthy and you win, I really can't argue against it. And, you know.
Hey, Garry, is the Kobe Dean going to see some action in the practice today?
Yes, he is. He is. And he's probably going to play some in the game, too, because, you know, he hasn't done anything. And as much as, you know, I want to see him succeed, you know, he hasn't done anything yet. He hasn't done anything on the NFL level. And I think he's aware of that. But the big thing he's got to do is, you know, he's got to be ready to go. I mean, this is not the easiest situation, because people they want this team to go back to the Super Bowl. That's what they're expecting. So, you know, that defense has got to play on an outstanding level, and that means he's got to step in and play like he's been there for 5 years, you know. And it's going to be a challenge for him. So he needs to get some plays. He needs to get plays when they're out here this afternoon, tomorrow, and in the game. You know, he needs to get some look.
Garry, what was your takeaway from the Ravens game?
Well, starting out with the offense, you know, I like some things. I like the fact that Mariota can run like Jalen Hurts can run. So you don't have to change the offense all the way, but he still needs to get more comfortable with the offense, where he's really sitting there reading, you know, first option, second option, third option. You know, maybe he doesn't get to the third. Maybe he takes off before the third. But you can't take off after the first read all the time, you know. That's really not NFL quarterbacking. You know, you got to sit in there, first read, second read, and, you know, you give guys a chance to help you, you know. But I do like the fact that he can run, because, you know, last year when they went to the second quarterback, you know, it was a different offense because he wasn't much of a run threat. But you see, Mariota can flat out run.
That Tanner McKee, I'll tell you what, man, he showed throwing that deep ball down the field too. He showed me something, man.
You know, the kid was very surprising because he wasn't playing like that out here. But he got into it and it clicked, you know, and you could see that he's used to playing the game like that. And I think off of that, you think that, you know, one day this kid's going to be an NFL quarterback, because he's doing things that you want to see, which is first option, second option, third option, and do that, you know, with the quickness, and then get that ball out there and be accurate with it. He's shown he can do that.
How about this too, Swift? I mean, I'll tell you something, Garry. Him running and the way he was elusive in there, how they played him, that 20-yard run. I got to tell you something, man. if you can get that guy to New England and get him to week 1 without any nicks on him, they may have got something here. That guy, he's kind of got a game like McCaffrey.
Well, he is going to add another dimension to the offense, and they're very excited about it. I'm out here, you're around the coaches, you're around people. I can see they're excited about it, but they're trying not to get giddy and start talking about it because they want to be able to just kind of hit New England with that, because that's something else they got to worry about. While they're worried about A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Goddard and all those guys, they're going to have to worry about screens, draws, and the things with a guy who can make people miss out in the field. So it's going to mean the Eagles have really taken another step. They got another major weapon in their arsenal, and I can see that they feel good about that, but, they don't want to talk about it.
I'll tell you what, Gary, on the defensive side, watching Jalen Carter and explosiveness, it was limited plays, but I'll tell you what, I posted this even and told everyone, I think he's everything as advertised. He just needs to get in there and play a little more because he looks like the real deal.
Well, all you got to do is see him a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm in the workout. First of all, the offensive lineman, right away he gets him afraid because when he sees him pick one of them up and run him back into the quarterback, because when a guy has got that kind of power, you got to brace yourself if you're an offensive lineman. Well, you got to brace yourself, and then he shows a speed move like he did on Saturday. That's where offensive linemen don't get any sleep the night before the game because they don't want to get embarrassed. Because if they're thinking a speed move and they're not braced, then they're going to get run over. And then at the same time, they're going to get left like that kid did, where you let the guy go around you and everybody's saying like, man, that guy can't block. So he really presents a problem. And the thing is that you really like about it is they're going to have to single block him. They're not going to be able to double him because look at the other people they got there they got to worry about. You got Reddick coming from outside. You got Josh Sweat coming from outside. These are two guys who had 10 sacks last year. You got Brandon Graham, he'll be in there, Fletcher Cox. And so they're going to have to single block somebody. They can't double team guys. So that's where, you're excited about it. And that's why, as I said, you can be around the coaches and things and you see how excited they are, but they don't want to say anything about it because they want to let it happen and they don't want to give anybody a heads up.
2 last questions for you before practice starts there with the Eagles at NovaCare. Gary, Nolan Smith, I said this. He just looked a little bit kind of his energy level was high. He was kind of false stepping. If I were anybody, I would say this: slow down, kid. It's going to come to you. He kind of looked like a rookie out there a little bit.
Well, he's got some rookie about him, even when he's talking about, what he's going to do. Look, dude, you see like with the other kid, he didn't say anything, you know. I mean, Jalen Carter didn't say anything. He don't have to say anything. Just go out there and play. With all the yucky stuff, this is pro ball, man. And nobody's getting impressed by the yucky stuff. Oh, I'm just so ready to go. Look, we're going to see whether you're ready to go or not. Don't worry. You're going to get plenty of chances, because the guys are going to hit you square in your mouth, and we're going to see how ready you are. So, he's enthusiastic, and I can appreciate that, but he got to realize this is pro ball. These guys are not afraid of him. They're not.
No, I completely agree. Gary, yeah. My last question to you here.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you, man, I saw the influence a little bit of Matt Patricia because I said this, something that stuck out to me was the communication skills that you saw in the secondary. The kid, Sidney Brown, Ricks, These guys were looking at one another. They were moving from hash to hash. I tell you what, man, I was a little bit impressed by how they moved back there and how they played back there. If I was going to have a takeaway of a group that kind of surprised me a bit, it would have been the secondary. What says you on that?
Well, I do think that, Sidney Smith, Sidney Brown, the thing that I like about him is the kid is doing what a safety wants to do, which is he's hustling to the ball. He's making tackles out in the open field. You got to get that out of your safeties. You can see he's got a love for the game, and he's an outstanding athlete. You see, the speed he has where he's closing on guys, and he's able to run a guy down, and he's got some toughness. But, he's still learning. He's picking things up very quickly. I think he's going to find his way on the field. We'll see how much and how soon, but I don't think they're going to be able to keep him off. They're going to find ways to get him on the field on, when they got 2, 3, 4 safeties out on the field, things like that. So they're going to find a place for him to play. But he definitely looks like, he's an NFL safety.
I'll tell you what, I can't wait to get a report from you on Myles Garrett and Lane Johnson today on one-on-ones. Yeah. I want a report on that one, man, because that's worth the price of admission.
Yeah, you can see the guys are out here, people getting their stuff taped up, so they know they're going to be going some full speed stuff. So that's going to be fun to see those guys match up. Myles Garrett against Lane Johnson. I might try to get that on tape.
Garry, thank you, my friend. Have a great day at the controlled scrimmage. Appreciate it.
All right, have a good one.
You got it, man. Yeah, that's worth the price of admission there. So, hey, man, right there on the NovaCare Practice Center. Very nice. Very nicely done. I would pay money to see that. Lane Johnson versus Myles Garrett. 2 dudes that could be going into Canton maybe at the same time. Okay? Hey, Brian, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to ask if he was practicing in the game yet because that's kind of a no-no for a guy like Garry. If he goes out there and they tell him something prior to him and then releasing it, you can kind of lose your badge a little bit there. So that's not fair to him. We're trying to get Garry on all the time, each and every single week. And I don't want to blow his fob key getting out there to the NovaCare Center. So again, if they told him that Penny's not going and they haven't released it yet to the public that he's got a banged up knee or ankle, they'll look down on him on that. So I don't want to go down that route with him there too, because that's not cool here. All right, yeah. So that's cool, man. Controlled scrimmages, but he at least gave us a little bit that Dean is going to be active in these scrimmages. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. All right, folks, very proud to tell you this as well. Our relationship with Hooters, which goes back decades, and in the 40th anniversary, which they are celebrating this year, we are so proud to tell you that the official home of the National Football Show is indeed Hooters KOP. And not only that, with all the great locations in the Northeast, do me a favor, go to northeasthooters.com, find a location, one of the 7 locations nearest you, and you'll be able to go and experience exactly what I've been talking about, their 40-year anniversary. Hey, and if also you're looking to get your draft parties together, this is the place that you want. Call them. Call ahead because get your draft parties now, man. The places are absolutely packed. All weekend long, they were just packed, all 7 of the locations, especially King of Prussia. The iconic Hooter girls are there to serve you. Tuesdays, you buy 10 wings, you get 10 boneless free. Wednesdays, Wing Wednesdays, one of the 40-year anniversary traditions that you have. All you can eat. How about this? All you can eat for $18.93. There's significance to that day, $18.93. Kids eat on Saturdays, happy hours. How about this? $6, 6 items, all your favorites, Coors Light. You're going to love it. It's such a great place for people to go and enjoy themselves. I love the food. They got steamers, everything that you're going to want. Listen, all 7 of the locations. Do me a favor, northeasthooters.com. There's a location nearest you. And I've already posted on our events that we're going to be doing with King of Prussia Hooters. So we want you to come by and enjoy us. And when you go to Hooters, do me a favor. Tell them Big Sil sent you.